Street gangs, money laundering, and drug cartels have become a major part of the United States. It seems like no matter what the government does, these folks just find a way around it. Cartels especially are like a business. No matter the circumstance, they must thrive. However, the government still does everything within its power to curb the spread and clip the wings of some cartels. One such is the Black Mafia family, which our spotlight will be focusing on today in this video. What do we know about the Black Mafia family? The Black Mafia family was a drug trafficking and money laundering organization in the United States. The organization was formed in 1985 in southwest Detroit by brothers Demetrius "Big Meech" Flenory and Terry "Southwest T" Flenory. In just over a decade, the organization had established cocaine distribution sales throughout the United States through their Los Angeles-based drug source and direct links to Mexican drug cartels. The organization ran its operations at two main centers, one in Atlanta for distribution and ran by Demetrius Flenory, and the other in Los Angeles to handle incoming shipments from Mexico, which was run by Terry Flenory. The Black Mafia family didn't concern itself with dealing in drugs only. The organization entered the hip-hop music business as BMF Entertainment in the early 2000s. Although it turned out that this was just a front organization to launder money from cocaine sales and to legitimize itself. However, the organization saw its end when federal authorities closed in on the Flenory brothers, presenting substantial evidence against them. The brothers were sentenced to 30 years imprisonment. Reports have it that the Black Mafia family made over $270 million in the course of their operations. Who are the Black Mafia family? From the streets of Detroit to a drug distribution network that spanned across the country, here is everything you need to know about the Black Mafia family. Demetrius "Big Meech" Flenory. The mastermind, Demetrius is the older of the two brothers. He was born on June 21, 1968 in Cleveland, Ohio. Big Meech ran the Black Mafia family drug empire with his brother in the late 80s, and they flourished until they got arrested in 2005. Their journey began on the streets of Detroit, where they were dealing drugs in high school. In 2000, the brothers started a record label named BMF Entertainment, where they had a hand in kickstarting the careers of many renowned hip-hop artists, such as Young Jeezy, Fabulous, and Trina. During their peak years, which was between 2003 and 2004, Big Meech and his brother were moving hundreds of kilograms of cocaine into Atlanta. Terry "Southwest T" Flenory. Terry Lee "Southwest T" Flenory was born January 10, 1972, in Detroit, Michigan. Just as was stated earlier, Terry and his brother Demetrius established a big empire for themselves in 2000, where they oversaw the distribution of multi-kilograms of cocaine across America. However, in 2001, the brothers ended up having a fallout, and Southwest T decided to move to Los Angeles to start his own operation. This decision lasted only about 4 years, as the different operations of the brothers came to an end in 2005, after the Drug Enforcement Agency arrested them. In September of 2008, Terry Flenory, alongside his brother Demetrius Flenory, pleaded guilty to the charges brought up against them, and they were subsequently sentenced to 30 years in jail. Earlier in May 2020, Terry was released into house arrest due to the COVID pandemic. How did it all start? It is believed that Big Meech and Southwest T started off their empire as far back as when they were in high school, where the brothers began selling $50 bags of cocaine on the streets of Detroit in the late 1980s. However, it didn't really become an empire until 2000. At this time, the Flenory brothers had established a large organization, putting them in charge of multi-kilogram cocaine distribution sales in various U.S. states including Alabama, California, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Louisiana, Michigan, Mississippi, Missouri, North Carolina, Ohio, and Tennessee. By then, the organization had grown from just the two brothers to over 500 members, according to the federal authorities. The organization's rise to success may have been attributed to two major things. For one, the brothers had gotten hooked up with a major drug supplier with direct or one-step-away ties to some of the top Mexican cartels at that time. As a result, the Flenory brothers had access to huge amounts of cocaine, although that came as a result of several years of building reputations as foremost drug dealers in Detroit. Secondly, it is believed that Terry once had a bullet graze his eye, and the doctors didn't carry out the surgery very well. Hence, Terry got a settlement for this and used it to launch a car service in Detroit. Eventually, his car service served as the backbone of the organization's elaborate transport systems of shuttling cocaine across various states in the country. In fact, some of the cars had hidden compartments used to transport cocaine and money. An affiliate music group. At the peak of their business ventures, the Flenory brothers needed a means of cleaning their drug money. So in the early 2000s, Demetrius Flenory established BMF Entertainment as a promotion agency and record label for hip-hop music. Before launching the music group, The organization already had links with several high-profile hip-hop artists, including Trina, T.I., Shawty Lo, Jay-Z, and Fabulous, and as a result, it was not very difficult for them to promote their artists and make a name for themselves on the streets. In 2005, BLEU Da Vinci's album, World is BMF's, was nominated for a Source Award. The Flenory brothers also featured in a number of underground hip-hop DVD magazines, most notably several issues of Smack and The Come Up. Although they were making a name for themselves in the music industry, Big Meech and Southwest T used their music label as a front for money laundering the cash generated by the already booming cocaine distribution network. The brothers split up. Sometimes our inability to settle our differences with others might just be the beginning of a disastrous end for both parties. This was the case for the Flenory brothers. Sometime in 2001, the Black Mafia family experienced a rupture when the Flenory brothers began to quarrel. This saw Terry Flenory moving to Los Angeles to head his own organization, while Demetrius Flenory remained at the main distribution center in Atlanta. By the end of that year, the brothers had been involved in a major falling out and rarely spoke to each other. No one can say why the two had to go separate ways, but wiretaps retrieved from Terry indicated that Terry was unhappy and concerned that his elder brother was bringing the wrong kind of attention to the organization with his excessive partying lifestyle. Before their fallout, the brothers had a property called the White House. There was a drug lab there, and there was a stash house where they would have like 100 kilos lined up in the basement. The fall of Big Meech. Demetrius Flenory lived a life that was extravagant, with series of parties. It was pretty obvious that such lifestyle would be putting him in the eyes of pretty much any law enforcement agent. However, Big Meech didn't care about this. He had a belief that it's the lifestyle that would eventually lead out of being a drug dealer. But Meech believed that he would attract enough attention like some big rapper and make more money, thereby retiring from selling drugs. It would have worked, but the timing was a bit off. How did the Black Mafia family get busted? It would be wrong to say that there was just one big bust. Police investigation into the Black Mafia family began sometime in the early 1990s, just before the organization operated by Demetrius and Terry Flenory was named or reached peak distribution. The truth is, it was impossible to catch Big Meech with any kind of wires or anything. The feds actually tried to put a wire on Demetrius, but they failed several times. The same cannot be said for Terry Flenory, against whom evidence piled up really strongly. The feds had people who were willing to turn on Terry. They also had Terry on a wiretap, and he had lots of business conversations on the phone. However, the feds were oblivious to the fact that at the time they landed the indictment, the brothers had very much split off from each other. Who snitched on Big Meech? According to reports, OMARI McCree and William Marshall were the people who allegedly snitched on Big Meech. It is believed that the feds used the pair to build a case against Demetrius Flenory and his brother Southwest T for their involvement in the Black Mafia family. According to one of BMF's former associates, DEXTER SOSA HUSSEY, McCree confessed to the police that Big Meech supplied him with cocaine. However, he allegedly later changed his mind about testifying during the trial, but the evidence had already been supplied and Big Meech had been hunted down. Rapper BLEU Da VINCI also had something to say about McCree's involvement in the arrest of the Flenory brothers. Although refusing to disclose his source, Da VINCI said he, OMARI, was going to give information that was going to get his time cut. He was going to disclose information that would result in his term being reduced, BLEU further explained. He further stated, "I don't know how he had a change of heart, but he never went to court. He had already given the information, so it didn't matter." OMARI McCree was no novice in drug dealing and money laundering. He was a BMF member who, according to local dealers, was responsible for supplying clients with multi-kilogram quantities of cocaine regularly. Wiretaps from police later revealed that OMARI McCree was a high-level distributor for the Flenory organization and was even one of Big Meech's favorite dealers. Although it is not certain if McCree had said anything that could have indicted the Flenory brothers, the same cannot be said for William Marshall. In fact, he was considered the prosecution's star witness, and his cooperation was reportedly instrumental in forcing Meech and Southwest to cut deals on the morning of their trial. An excerpt from the gangster report into the BMF read, "It was Marshall's decision to cooperate with the government that ultimately forced the Flenory's hand in copying pleas on the morning their trial was supposed to begin in November 2007. Marshall was believed to be a witness to an unspecified number of drug exchanges. However, it is unknown whether he had any direct dealings with the BMF group. OMARI served only about 5 years of his 15-year sentence before he was released on parole. At the moment, there is no information on his whereabouts. William Marshall, on the other hand, died in a jail cell in Westland, Michigan, following a cocaine overdose. The trial of Big Meech and Southwest T. The Flenory brothers were charged under the Continuing Criminal Enterprise Statute, conspiracy to distribute 5 kilograms or more of cocaine. possession with intent to distribute more than 500 grams of cocaine, conspiracy to launder monetary instruments, and 2 counts of possession with intent to distribute more than 5 kilograms of cocaine. Demetrius was arrested in a large home in a suburb outside Dallas. Inside the house, authorities retrieved a small amount of marijuana and a few MDMA pills. Also inside the house were several weapons and multiple vehicles. Terry, meanwhile, was captured in St. Louis with small amounts of marijuana and weapons found throughout the house. Meech had tried and failed to have his case split off from his brothers since they weren't running the same organization anymore. Subsequently, both brothers were sentenced to 30 years in prison after being convicted of running one of the largest drug trafficking and money laundering rings in Michigan history. Terry was released under house arrest in May 2020, while Big Meech is behind bars at USP Lompoc in California. Well, that's all for today's video. We hope you enjoyed the content as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. Make sure to like the video and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more quality content, and ring the bell to be notified immediately when we drop new videos so that you never miss out on anything. Till next time, bye for now.